Hello, hi there. Welcome to Guiding Voice podcast series, the Guiding Voice for a better future. This podcast is to help students and young professionals to shape their careers. In every episode, we interact with industry experts and drive some insightful conversations that will help our audience learn great things. We also share an interesting trivia or fun fact about the IT world towards the end of every episode. Thank you for tuning in. This is Naveen and I'm with my co-host Sudhakar. Let us start today's show by asking a couple of questions. Number one, if you could do anything for 8 hours a day for the rest of your life and money were no object, what would you do? I'm sure this will make you ponder, so please start thinking. And here comes the second one, which is an adage. If you don't love something, then don't do it. So I'm sure this will also lead you to think deeply about what you are doing. Now, coming to today's episode, I'm sure this pandemic has given time for each one of us to contemplate, introspect, and find our passion. So for today's episode, we picked up the topic being passionate in what you do. And we are pleased to welcome Nagapriya to our show to share her thoughts.
Nagapriya Prakash has been working in the corporate world for more than 20 years now. For the last 4 years, she has been associated with Codelathe Technologies in the capacity of QA engineer. Her extensive experience lies in associating herself with various business domains, corporate cultures, and dealing with people. Outside of work, Priya loves to spend her time with her daughter, zentangle, dance, and come up quirky design ideas at home. Nagapriya, welcome again to our podcast.
Thanks, Sudhakar. That's a nice introduction. Thank you.
Priya, let us start with your career journey. Can you throw some light in the turns that you took in your 21 years of career?
Yes, Sudhakar, that would be a good place to start. In my total 21 years of careers, you could actually divide it into 7 years of each or something like that. Initially I started, it was a storybook kind of entry into IT. I was college graduate and it was a campus recruitment through TCS. And I had a good training. Then the TCS training was very sought after thing. And that shaped me to really open my eyes to IT and all the coding and all how it's done and all that. Then there was an on-site trip which was like very, very sought after thing Then I came back, I joined Satyam, then I had a stint with EDS. So this was all MNCs. So somewhere here I got another opportunity to move into the next model, which was a captive model, which was coming up in the next 7 years from 96 to 2001. It was going on MNCs. Then in 2001, this captive model started coming up. So this was a small company called Codelathe Technologies for KBC Bank based out of Belgium. Okay, so this was a different model altogether. So this was a new thing for me and I was there with them for about 3 years and that was a new learning, new process, new performance, new team structure and all that. So I had to really unlearn a lot of stuff from MNC kind of an operating to a smaller operating company. Then again, as fate would have it, I had a break and all that. And then I got married and personally I had to take a break. And somewhere I had to engage myself and all that. So I took up some non-right brain stuff, which is my left for, which gave a lot of order to my left brain, like pottery, dancing and all that, which was a complete revelation to me. And I was not in the industry then. Then I realized there was something that was happening that in the industry when I had to really look back and see, which was more like people were involved more into digital business, more into securities, more into quick solutions, apps and all that were coming up. So then I realized I had to get back. I was looking up the outside world and seeing there are new things to do. Then I got an opportunity to work with a product called LastPass. It is a password management system. So we had to do a small testing on it from home. This was convenient for me because I had a daughter. I had to take care of home and all that. So it was fine. So the work nature was very independent. So I had to do all by myself. I had my laptop. I had my own timings and all that. So there were not much process involved in it. And the team was remote too. So this was an entirely new eye-opener for me. Along these lines, then came my current company called Codelathe Technologies. This is a cloud venture, which is the next happening thing. Fortunately, that happened, which was focusing on enterprise business solution via cloud and all that. That was altogether a new learning. I didn't have any formal knowledge on it or anything, but I learned on the job. But the job was of a QA engineer. For all the years of service, I could have demanded for a project manager or something, but they offered me QA manager. I was happy about it because that gave me a lot of insight into the product and made me ask a lot of questions of the product. And I was free to dig and see the product and observe the product and understand the product and question and learn more as to what is happening in cloud. So these are the various stages of my career. Now I am associated with my current cloud venture company in the designation of QA engineer. I am still in the learning mode, I would say. So this is my work story, Sudhakar.
So Priya, you had an amazing career which spans across Indian multinational companies, the captive, and currently a startup which is in the latest and hot trend of security.
Correct.
So when you look back at your 21, 22 years of experience in professional journey, what is one thing or the toughest step you would say that you had to take consciously?
If you ask me now, I'm looking back at it, I would say it is the process to unlearn. See, as we go through each and every company or every process, come to know people, we continuously learn. We continuously observe and learn, read and learn, bookish learn. We do attend training, seminars and all that and learn. There is a continuous learning, I would say. I had to actually unlearn a few of those so that I have space to accumulate and learn and know and observe and see things in a new perspective and learn things and adapt them. So my challenge or the toughest steps I would say would be to unlearn whatever I have learned, create space and quickly adapt, make a right choice, right decision with what the current learning is of. I think that is a very big challenge I faced. For example, see, when I was with an MNC, I learned a few processes. I learned a few way of working. I learned a few way of acknowledging clients. When I came to a captive, it was different. Because it was a small setup, it was one client and it was region specific and it was European clients, we needed to be different. The reporting model has to be different. The matrices has to be different. The way we acknowledge the work has to be different. So that was different. Then from there to a startup, that to remote startup, I had to live all that I have learned in all the previous two companies. And then I had to learn to adapt to that. It is all the more only faceless communication. So how will that be? Then came the cloud-based work. See, here we started from 9 people to 61 people across the globe, various nationalities, different work timings, different way of reporting. So that was another learning altogether. I had to be smart enough, I had to be quick enough, I had to learn and adjust to and adapt to that. In all this, I have to project a positive image. I have to keep up with my work. More than also technology learning was there from mainframe, open systems, ERP, cloud platforms. From the kind of role that I was playing as a coder to project manager to requirements management to now a QA person who has to question everything, even the silliest of the stuff. So that kind of learning, unlearning is a most challenging thing that I faced, I would say, Sudhakar.
Absolutely. I would say that unlearning and quick adaptation, two amazing points that you highlighted there, Priya.
Because the world is changing at a very fast pace, isn't it? The technology and everything. We can't be stagnant at one place.
To succeed in this ever-changing and dynamic world, it reminded another quote by Alvin Toffler. You might have come across this, Priya. The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So,
yeah, aptly put.
Exactly. Very apt. That's a good one, Naveen.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that to table. Coming to the third question. What is one thing that you enjoyed thoroughly in your journey?
The process of rediscovering. Discovering is one thing that we did when we entered IT, I think. We discovered one phase of us. Now it was completely a rediscovery in each and every phase. From a coder to a tester, the journey was like I had to completely rediscover my other areas of head or the thinking process and put them to use. I had to sharpen them and put them to use. I had to leave the old monolithic system, legacy systems learning and come into modern systems, which is like a storm, which is like a whirlwind takeover. And that rediscovery and how I adapted to it and how I am enjoying it, how I grow along, how my personality also grows and changes along with it is one thing that I enjoyed in this journey. It is not a smooth thing. It is a revelation to myself about me, but it is a nice process. It's a good process to be in, I would say. So that's a major takeaway for me or major enjoyment for me to keep me in the job.
That's fantastic. And coming to rediscovering, it will help us recreate ourselves and we will be a new version. So
exactly,
you are able to experience that throughout your career, which is one thing which many people look out for, and you should be glad you have experienced it.
Exactly.
So what is that kept you going in this 21 years of journey?
I'm actually lucky to see a metamorphosis, the process that is happening in the IT. See, it was first legacy, then it was like this, then now we are in cloud, now we are in apps. I don't know what is going to come. And I'm actually looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
See, initially I was on computers, stationary, now then laptops, then now I'm on mobile testing and all that. What else is going to come? The ideas, the people and the kids now and come up with ideas like anything, and then they get it all done up and there is a new app, new thing coming up. I'm actually looking forward to seeing and testing and the ideas and how it incubates and how it becomes a product types. That is amazing. But I also have to say that people should have a vision. The vision that they take and they form an idea and how it gets into the industry is amazing. And I am a part of it. Isn't it a thrill by itself? Isn't that process a thrill? Gives you a kick by itself?
It definitely does.
And you, as a QA engineer, I get to find faults in it. And as a lady, you're finding faults and talking about it. And it gives a cheap thrill, but it is a thrill. At the end of the day, you file 2 tickets, you are like on top of the world. It could be silly ticket, it could be a great ticket, but still you feel so top of the world. No amount of delicacy or ice cream or any sweets could give you that. But that is the thrill and that keeps me going. I actually look forward to a release period because we end up testing the product, testing the patches, testing the product so much, and we end up filing the tickets, understanding the product and enjoying that process. It's nice to see your baby grow.
Priya, that is a completely different viewpoint or perspective, I would say.
It's like a baby, isn't it? You have a baby, see, we counsel them, we talk to them, they do all sorts of naughtiness, like they have bugs and all in all shapes and sizes, we still keep going. So it's like a life. That's what it is. You have to enjoy the process or else you are not in it. As Naveen said earlier, you either enjoy it or can do it or you don't do it. So I like this. So this is something keeps me going every day, Naveen. I wake up to it. I look forward to it.
Fabulous inputs, Priya.
Priya, you had the variety of experiences in this journey of 21 years. In the current role as the QA engineer, what is the value add or the differentiator that you offer to this company?
See, I have been through technologies, I've been through business models, various domains like retail and all, automation and all that. And I've also been a user as a QA person. So I would say I am very good at giving a 360-degree view of business, technology and user perspective. I think I'm somewhere good at the intersection point of business, technology and people. Through my experience and view, I'm able to understand business needs as to what the business would need or how they look at numbers, unlike the young people who are coming up now. And technology, because I was in the old technology and the upcoming technologies, I'm able to give value to it. I'm able to see that there are some limitations, that there can be some super duper presentations or rendering also. And in the user perspective, see, as a user, since I've been through user testing in the old and the new ways, and I'm also a QA person, I have to think like a user. So I train myself. I have to unlearn what I've learned as a developer and learn as a user. And so my mind is now like a user as to what the user would think. So somewhere I think I bring in the value of business perspective, technology perspective, and people perspective. So with this value, I design my test cases and test scenarios and test setup and formulate my test data to test my product and give a better product to the customer. So that way the product will be of very good use. There will be lesser reworks and there will be a lesser defect seepage between various stages. So I think I am able to give that, take it forward like that.
That's great summary. Utilizing the 21 years of experience and the professional exposure that you have got across the geographies and providing that business technology people definitely a value add.
Sudhakar, I have one question for you. See, what do you think is the vision for this guiding voice that you are part of? What do you think will be the vision for guiding voice?
When we started it, we thought we would be able to complete about 100 episodes, that we would call it as a success. But believe it or not, we are in the range of 50th episode. So reaching more geographies and the students in their final years of academic stage across the globe will be something that we aspire. How many countries, how many schools or colleges we would be able to cover is something that we will wait and watch.
That's a great vision to have, and this is one nice tool. Podcast is a nice tool at this time of the pandemic and all that for us to keep people inspiring.
Yeah, I think we started accepting the remote or virtual sessions as the new norm. So Priya, the way we were actually thinking when we started it way back in May 2020, we definitely anticipated that the pandemic will go away and this will be a short-term engagement, like I was saying, at max 100 episodes. But now that the remote and virtual world has become the new norm, I think we will continue this with patronage and support from enthusiasts like you. I'm sure we will be able to achieve more geographies, and we plan to make it more interactive as well. So with some real life scenarios and live sessions, we want to reach out to more audience and make it more interactive. Yeah.
And that would be more meaningful to them also, right?
Absolutely, because this is more like a push. We want to make it more like an interactive and then pull mechanism as well.
Sudhakar, hats off to you and Naveen for the same. Now my one question to Naveen I always wanted to ask. Naveen, what do you think are your SWOT? What are your strengths, weakness, opportunities and trend, or in this guiding voice, or personal strengths that took you here?
You're putting me on spot. Yeah, I'll try to be very brief. My strength is my competencies like Lean Six Sigma and people skills and also technology skills. I come up with a unique background of equal weightage on people, process and technology part of it. And with regard to the speed of execution and sense of urgency is something which nobody can match. That is my key strength. And at the same time, this becomes my weakness as well, because I expect the same thing from my counterparts, so which is at times intimidating for them.
With you, I understand this feeling.
And with regard to the opportunities, yeah, definitely people like me are going to succeed in this world, because we have little patience in terms of launching certain tools or technologies or products to market. And in case if I can work further on my strengths, we can definitely take it to next level and be able to launch all the products that are in the pipeline.
Definitely, Naveen, you are on the way to success.
All right, so coming to the threat, I don't see any threat as such, because I strongly believe that I can convert any of my threats into opportunity, because I always operate with kind of foresight and try to be proactive, because being a Six Sigma person and all, I try to understand certain trends and patterns and based on that plan things accordingly. But a fantastic question.
We are looking to having you as a trend, Naveen as a trend, Sudhakar as a trend, okay? And it's not a threat anymore. So the T is no more a T for threat. It's going to be trend, Naveen trend and Sudhakar trend, or guiding voice trend that is going to rock the world. That's nice too.
Cool. So we are at the fag end of our conversation and we want to close with one last question, Priya. What are your tips for students and young professionals that are aspiring to make it big in the industry and in their careers?
That's a very weighted question. I came across the Starbucks vision statement. Okay, see, Starbucks was not just a coffee place. If the founder had a vision of a coffee place, it would have just been a coffee place. He thought of it as a third house or a third space for a person between home and work, isn't it? So he gave us coffee, he gave us a little bit of bites or refreshments, and he gave us the space. So that is why it is succeeding. So the vision is not coffee place. The vision was a third space. So I think somewhere we have to be clear on the vision. I discovered my passion or vision to be continuous learning. It is not money. It is not measured in terms of dollars. It is not measured in terms of my role. It is not measured in terms of my promotions or hikes and all that. Every day I opened my eyes, I wanted to have something to learn. That is my vision. Similarly, I want the kids or the young professionals to have a clear vision. Their vision, I would say, should not be materialistic. It should be something more. They have to continue in this industry for next 30-40 years, means they have to have a good vision. The vision should be clear and it has to make an impact. It has to be something that they can work towards to. Similarly, I would like to say another not good vision. That is as an example. Remember, we had nano cars. It came about 5 years back and it was always called as a 1 lakh car. See, 1 lakh car was good, but it was not a successful one. Just that 1 lakh car didn't make some people buy the car. We couldn't contain the cost as within 1 lakh, so it was a failure. Instead, I would have liked if the vision was use me instead of a bike, buy me instead of a bike. That is a positive, I say that is a positive vision. Everyone will want to align to that vision, isn't it? So we would have all rushed to buy a nano car because it's more than a bike. So a person who is investing 90,000 rupees for a bike or a lakh for a bike would now look at nano instead of something. The vision has to be positive. So I would advise, or I would only give a tip to students and young professionals is to have a positive vision and be open and do the appropriate networking and stay active. That's all the next ones. This is all I have.
Thank you so much, Priya, for that summary. Thank you for joining us today. It was indeed a great discussion on being passionate in what you do that spanned across topics like unlearning, rediscovering, quick to adapt, having a clear vision. We really appreciate you spending time with us.
Thanks, Sudhakar. I'm looking forward to learning more and all your best wishes to continue, for the world to challenge me and continue on this. Thank you. Thank you, Naveen.
Thank you, Priya.
Dear listeners, to know more about our speaker and the content, visit or follow us on social media. We are available on LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, Twitter, Pinterest, and also on YouTube. Just search for The Guiding Voice. And then follow us, like, subscribe to us, and also share within your network. Also, please feel free to email us at The Guiding Voice for You. That is TheGuidingvoice 4-digit U as a letter at gmail.com, or WhatsApp us on India number 9494 587 187. Again, it is India number 9494 587 187, and we will be happy to collaborate with you.
All right. So it brings us to the trivia segment of today's episode. And today's trivia is about Yahoo. Most of you are aware that Yahoo Messenger, which was decommissioned recently. However, Yahoo Mail and search engine are still in use. It has its own legacy and has been in the news for a variety of reasons, especially related to the failed acquisition deals and the final deal too. And today's trivia is about who created the name Yahoo. So guys, do you know? The name Yahoo was created by Jonathan Swift for his book Gulliver's Travel in 1726. In which it explained Yahoo to be a really ugly person, but Yahoo turned out to be a great tool which helped communicate people across the geographies. Interesting, isn't it? Thank you for listening. There is more in store, folks. Stay tuned. Have a wonderful time. Take care. Be safe. Until next time, bye bye.